Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Let's Have a Pint. Today we have Raja Gaj from Brickway Brewing, once again right here in Omaha. It is an Imperial IPA or double IPA. On Untappd it says it's, hi Arya, it's 10.3% alcohol. However, their website says 9.2%. Wonder if it says on here. That's funny. On the can it says 10.3. Possibly it used to be less, and that's what the website has. I don't know. Untappd doesn't have an IBU listing, but their website says 86 IBUs. It says on their website they used Pilsner and Carmunch 1 malts. For hops, they used Magnum, Simcoe, Amarillo, Chinook, and Centennial. Okay. The description for the beer is move over malt sweetness. This one is all about the hops. So this is part of their seasonal series. They got two different seasonal series. They have their session seasonals. They're beers that range from 4% to 6%. Then they got this, which is a big seasonal series of larger beers. So, here's the can. One thing I appreciate about them, though, is they hardly do any bottles. Almost everything they do is canned. There's a weird film on the outside of the can. Alright, almost got it all in here. It's actually darker than I expected. I feel like they roasted the malts a little bit for that. Could be wrong, my knowledge is definitely not infinite. I might have to break apart two of my children. If the video randomly cuts, I probably had to do that. Let's see. So, I got about 2.5 fingers worth of head on this. Well, I'll definitely see through it in the light. There's definitely a haze in there. And I will be right back. Alright, sorry about that. They like to be loud when they play, though. And I don't want them to be loud right now. Anyways. There's almost a haziness within the beer, not like as a part of the beer, but like strings of haziness in there. There's a little bit of bubbles. There's not a whole lot of them. The head stays around fairly long. That is a lot of bitterness in the smell. Definitely getting those Simcoe hops out of it. I think I also smell the Chinook. It's a big burst of flavor. Medium bodied, pretty well carbonated. this is one of those tropical IPAs. It definitely has a refreshing, juicy, um, tropical fruit flavor to it. It's almost sweet in the bitterness. Or maybe it is because I just enjoy a hot bomb. But, bitter from start to finish. There's almost a caramel flavor in there. There's hints of like roasted caramel, I think. Yeah, that's what I call it. There's so much bitterness, it's hard to pick out what's under there. But it just from on the start or on the front of your palate and on the finish, it's just it bursts with tropical fruit juiciness along with that bitterness. In the middle, it's just that bitterness, but like I said, it bursts on the end again. So on the you got the burst of tropical fruit juiciness. Then it's just straight bitter through the middle. Then you get another burst of tropical fruit juiciness. I don't know why words are hard at the moment. Distracted by how pleasant this beer is. That's the excuse I'll use. Like I said, it is a little darker than I thought it would be, but it is genuinely a really good beer. But I can definitely taste a little bit of roasted caramel. I don't think it's on the front of the palate. I want to say it comes in a little hint in the middle when you don't have those big bursts. Otherwise, I don't think I would taste it at all. Once again, it's coating the glass. The next one in this big seasonal series I'm excited for. Drone Fleur Belgian Triple. I haven't had a triple in a long time. I've had the other one, the Imperial Stag Holiday Spice Stout. And that one is absolutely amazing. Then they have their regular big beer series that are, I don't know if they're seasonal releases or if they're just every once in a while they're going to brew it. But I've had the Epic Blackout Stout. I actually bought a can of it, and it was absolutely amazing. Bella Diva Imperial Chocolate Stout I had on draft at their tap room. I have not had the Imperial Stout. I have not had the 10th Sanctum Barley Wine. I'm not huge on barley wines. I tried so hard to get into them, but I could not. I don't dislike them, and it doesn't mean I won't have any. But you probably will not see too many barley wines on this channel. By the same token, you probably won't see too many brown ales. You'll see more brown ales than you will barley wine, but the regular seasonal selection is an oatmeal pale ale in the spring, which was a pretty good pale. Right now it's the raspberry Hefeweizen, which I have already reviewed. And I can't wait for fall to hit, because that's when their Oktoberfest comes out, and I love everything that I've had from them, besides one beer I did not love. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And I love Oktoberfest. I love Marzen style lagers. And the one I didn't love was their winter seasonal, which is a maple pecan brown. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I'm not a big fan of maple in beer. I'm not a big fan of pecans in general. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Granted, the only other brewery I've had a maple beer from is Rogue, and I know that doesn't hold much justice for what maple can do in a beer. But yeah, honestly, their regular series of beers, their Pilsner, Hefeweizen, Indian Pale Lager, and their Coffee Vanilla Stout, all spot on. Really are. No real story today, but I do want to start asking you guys for suggestions on what we should talk about. I don't know if I've mentioned this in other videos, but anything I talk to you guys about, I want you guys to talk to me about. You can either leave video responses, or a written response in the comments, or message me. Anything I talk about, I'd love to hear your guys' take on it. What, like the one about what I enjoy reading, my favorite authors. I'd love to know your favorite authors, what you love to read. And that goes for anything else that we talk about here on the channel. The only subject I'm going to say is off limits, even though it is a personal passion of mine, is politics. Because that divides people just a little too much. There is, of course, one exception to that, and I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or liberal. The only exception is I don't understand how anybody could be okay with who is currently our president. You know, whether you were a fan of the Bushes, Clinton, Obama, whoever, I don't care. We're not going to talk about any of it. We won't even talk about the current president. We're not going to do any. We're not going to do any politics talk. Because, like I said, that divides people too much. There is places for that. This channel will not be one of them. Other things I do want to talk about, but I'm sure we'll have an episode where we talk about video games, my history of playing video games, turning into the very, very occasional game that I play and mostly watch. Movies, TV, music. Music is a big passion as well. Actually, the shirt I was wearing today, I specifically do not have on right now, because as obviously I would love the band since I have a t-shirt for them, uh, it is not appropriate, so I am not going to have it in the video. Hi again, Arya. And actually, if I gently, move you this way, there is the oldest, Tiffany, which I know you have seen. You love seeing my hand, I am sure. But anyways, I want to talk about, in an episode, I want to talk about my trip to Colorado with my friend, which was amazing. It was very much beer-centered. Now, granted, there was sightseeing, obviously, and such, and I'd love to go longer just for beer. I'd love to visit Portland and other places, but we'll get into that in that episode, or another episode. Like I said, I don't really have anything specifically I want to talk about in this episode. I think this will be the episode where I branch it out to you guys. I think like I have 16 or 17 videos. They're not ready to go. They're not edited, but they are filmed, and it's just light editing that any of them really need. I think this will probably be the last of all of them, so that I've gotten some main stuff out of the way. Hi, sweetheart. Last time you saw Luna, who's the one right here, she wasn't feeling well. Her voice had gone, but she is fine now. Just irritated by her little brother. But I wanna put, just before this one, the other ones where we had topics and not just straight beer reviews. I kind of want to go through all the ones that are just straight beer reviews first, then get into all the other ones that had topics and discussions, because as of right now, that's where I'm leaning for the channel, is to have a conversation, a discussion, talking about things. And I want this video to be the start of jumping into where you guys give me ideas, ask me things that you want to know. It can be beer related, it can be anything else. Although in my introduction video I went through a fair amount of my history with beer. It doesn't even have to be my history. We can do history lessons. We can do whatever. It just will not include politics, unless it's facts about politics in the past, like the terrible thing we tried to do 100 years ago, where we tried to ban alcohol, and how well that worked out. My computer has died. Not that we need it. The story about how IPA started, which I'm sure most people have heard, but maybe somebody hasn't. Maybe somebody wants to learn. I might learn a nugget or two in that, as well as some other people who thought they knew about it. Actually, teaching is something that I have really wanted to do. Granted, I wanted to be an English teacher. I don't know if that will ever happen, because I can't do math. Basic algebra. Not like basic algebra, but like basic college level algebra. I was going to a local community college, and they have it split up into 2 courses, or an accelerated course. I can pass the first one, but that second one, I always remember Chapter 5 fucks me over all the time. I think I've taken the course 5 times. When I was younger, I was much more I'm fucking stubborn, but I was much more stubborn then. and I refused a tutor. Now if I ever actually have the money, and now that I'm smarter and I would use a tutor, I would love to be able to do it again. I think that's the only thing that's held me back from getting a 2-year degree from there. And then I'd love to go on and get a 4-year degree and so on and so forth to teach, but really I make about as much money now as I would there. I mean, I'd make a little bit more teaching than what I make now. However, I could easily go up at my current job. I'd be making much more than I would teaching, which it will happen, but I'm in retail, and right now I got a pretty cushy gig where 3 weeks out of a month I work Monday through Friday, and then it's always at the beginning of the month, obviously. I work that Sunday, which right now it is July 5th. I just got done with work for the week, so I get tomorrow off, which is Friday. I get Saturday off, and I get Sunday off, so I will take it when that happens. Usually I get a Tuesday off, but that is something else we won't really get into about where I work. Just for personal reasonings. I'm not at all a shy person, but I'm not sure putting that out there in this kind of way is a good idea. But yeah, I'd really like to open it up to you guys for suggestions. What do you want to know about me? What do you guys want to discuss? Like I said, it could be history, it could be something that's happened in my past, it could be my history of beer, trips I want to take. I would love to go to Europe. It would be so hard for me to do that because I would actually have to take a leave of absence from work, just because it would be so long. I'd want to take at minimum 3 weeks to go around Europe. I'd want to spend at least a week in Belgium, a week in Germany, at least a few days in England. If at all possible, I'd love to go to a bar in England and have a pint with Connor, who runs the Best in Slot channel, who is Best in Slot. And I mean, if you don't want to participate and, ask questions or anything, that's fine. I almost never do anything like that. I've only ever done that once, and it was Connor's channel. It was back when it wasn't Ark. It was The Isle. The original release of The Isle. I know they've had updates since then because he's said so on videos, but he did a Q&A. He liked to use that game to do Q&As. And he had one that was almost a freaking hour long. But the video before that, I had asked a question if he was ever going to consider doing a Zelda game on the channel. Because I love Zelda. At that time, he didn't have a second channel where he did long-ass playthroughs. So, he had said no. But he might do it on that second channel. Of course, if you do a playthrough. I mean, his videos are 30 to 40 minutes. But even with that, if you do a playthrough of a Zelda game, you're looking at about 100 episodes. And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't really have the time to watch it anyways. But anyways, with this episode, I'd like to open it up to you guys as well. I'm always up for ideas on what to talk about. Uh, anyways, I think on Untapped, this was getting 3.6, roughly around in there. Um, I love how it has the uh, roasted caramel notes. I wish it was slightly more prominent. I wouldn't want it to be overbearing to the bitterness, even in the middle of the palate. But I'd love to be able to definitely know 100% that uh, it's there, and not just get subtle hints of it in there. With that, I really find it to be an interesting beer. I'd say I'd give it a 4.25. I honestly love how hoppy it is too, though. Anyways, opening it up to you guys as well. Ask questions, give me ideas on what to talk about. I'd also love to do an episode where I just blab on about Grand Theft Auto, because I really appreciate their games. They get a lot of flack for their violent content, but the kind of game it is, if you didn't have that, what would be the point of the game? You know? Anyways, that's it for this episode of Let's Have a Pint. Uh, actually, it is not. I forgot to do this in other videos. I honestly like doing this. Would I buy this again? Oh, and now it says Bison Series. It never said that before, as far as I'm aware. Uh, would I buy this beer again? This beer comes in a 4-pack can for $10. And I'd have to say, yeah, next summer I will probably buy it again. I wouldn't buy another 4-pack this year, I don't think. Partially because I don't have that much money, and partially because it's a really great beer. But it's always nice to have something different and something new. But yeah, I will definitely pick this up again next summer. Pick up another 4. Hopefully they'll have that Wild Olivia again, though. Woo! Since I know this is going to be the last video before I open it up to you guys, all the other 16 videos I've recorded will be on the channel before this. God, I love that Wild Olivia. I miss that thing. It's been a hell of a week, though. I've been pissed at myself because usually the first Chronos Rising book and the second one, the Chronos Rising Kraken Volume 1, those took me roughly a week apiece to finish reading, and the short novellas took me about a day apiece to read. I'm not even fucking 200 pages out of 550 or so pages into this one, and I got it a week and 2 days ago. But it's been so freaking hectic. Not with just work, but girlfriend, other things going on. Last Friday she had a friend in town who had never been up here before, so we took them out, showed them downtown. Yesterday was the 4th, so we were over at her parents' house. So it's been a hell of a week. I'm amazed I survived work today. I didn't drink a lot last night. I had a nut brown ale from Nebraska Brewing. That was it. I just had one of those. He always offers beer, her father, but I never want to abuse it. but we were out until 11 o'clock, and I didn't get to bed until 11:30. Got up at 6. And my body's a body that needs like 9 hours of sleep. But anyways, 4.25. I will definitely pick up another 4-pack next summer. Until the next episode. Cheers. Prost, sorry. Prost is cheers in German, if you didn't know. But anyways, Prost.